Hi kids, I'm Josiah Milky. Welcome to Disney Animation Reviews. We're just 4 months away from Ralph Breaks the Internet coming to theaters. And by the way, that's its name now. It used to be Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, but they shortened it to just Ralph Breaks the Internet. We're 4 months away from that, but we still got a lot of movies to discuss. Today we're talking about The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, but honestly I kind of want to speed through this one. But speed is good, it keeps you on your feet. My dog Sam used to drag me through a lot of it when I was taking him for a walk. Then a car ran over him, which simultaneously proved my point and took away his life at a young age. Anyway, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is Walt Disney's 22nd full-length animated feature based off the books by A.A. Milne. Similar to Mary Poppins, the Winnie the Pooh books were read by Walt's daughters, and they loved them so much that Walt decided one day he was going to make a movie based off Milne's books. Similar to Jungle Book, the stories actually first caught Walt's attention in the late 1930s, but he didn't acquire the film rights until 1962. Walt had actually wanted to do a Winnie the Pooh feature right from the get-go, but they ultimately decided to do a Winnie the Pooh stories as short films first. The first was Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, released in February of 1966. Then, just in time for Christmas, 1968, they had Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, which posthumously won Walt his final Academy Award for Best Animated Short. I say posthumously because Walt passed away 2 years before the short's release. So the award was given to him after death, and I don't know who accepted it on Walt's behalf. When Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2 was released 6 years later for Christmas 1974, and was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Animated Short, but lost to something else, the Disney studio felt like they had enough Winnie the Pooh stories to make into a full-length feature. The result, Walt Disney's 22nd animated feature-length film, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, first released in spring of 1977. It did pretty good at the box office, and has gotten really good reviews. Little kids adore it, and unfortunately it's now got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes like Pinocchio, which is the highest score yet. But one advantage that Pinocchio has is it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is not. So Pinocchio is still the best of the animated Disney films in the canon in terms of Rotten Tomatoes scores. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I did watch Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh as a kid, along with a bunch of other Winnie the Pooh stuff. I've grown out of it now, but well, let's just talk about the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and I'll explain my deal with it. So after the opening Winnie the Pooh theme song, we're introduced to our main character, Winnie the Pooh himself, voiced of course by Sterling Holloway, who's been in a number of animated Disney features. Let me think. The film starts with Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, after the theme song, of course. Winnie the Pooh does his morning exercise routine, and then discovers he's almost out of honey. He borrows a blue balloon from his best friend, Christopher Robin, and rolls in a mud puddle to become a little black rain cloud, and uses the balloon to try and get honey from the honey tree. But he's attacked by the bees, and so that plan fails, and he ends up going to Rabbit's, where he eats all of Rabbit's honey, and then gets stuck in Rabbit's doorway, and has to wait to get thin again to get out. Then we get the Oscar winner, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. It's a Happy Wednesday, as Pooh hears from Gopher, who was actually made for Honey Tree to replace Piglet to make the film more American, but British folks didn't like Gopher, so Piglet got added for Blustery Day, but they still include Gopher. In Blustery Day, Pooh goes to wish everyone a happy Wednesday, and he and Piglet get a visit to Owl's house, but the wind is so strong it ends up knocking Owl's treehouse to the ground, sending Eeyore the donkey to find a new house for Owl. That night, Pooh meets up with Tigger, the newest resident in the 100-acre wood, who warns Pooh about heffalumps and woozles who steal honey. And we get the dream sequence with the song Heffalumps and Woozles. That's actually one of my favorite Winnie the Pooh songs, along with the theme song. Some might accuse it of being a Pink Elephants on Parade ripoff, but honestly, it doesn't really matter to me. Ultimately, they end up having to get to Christopher Robin's when a big flood comes, and Pooh and Piglet both end up being heroes. Pooh for saving Piglet from being swept away by the river, and Piglet when he finds Owl a new house with Eeyore's help. Finally, we get my personal favorite of the movie, Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2. Hence the title, Tigger's the Star. Rabbit's so fed up with Tigger bouncing him and everybody else that he, Pooh, and Piglet make a plan to lose Tigger in the woods so it'll take the bounce out of him. Well, obviously that doesn't work. So, they try to come up with a new plan. When winter comes, Tigger takes Roo, the little kangaroo, out bouncing, and they accidentally get stuck in a tree, and Tigger must face never bouncing again if he's gonna get out of there. Rest assured, it's a happy ending for Tigger and everybody else. But it's Winnie the Pooh, so you can usually expect a happy ending from anything Pooh related. So you got the 3 shorts plus some new linking material to link them together, and a brand new ending for the movie, where Christopher Robin is getting ready to go away to school and has to say goodbye to Pooh, reminding him they'll always be the best of friends no matter what happens. I never thought about this until I read my friend Rachel Wagner's review of this movie on her blog, but the ending where the kid has to say goodbye to his old friends of childhood, very similarly, Pixar did a similar thing at the end of Toy Story 3 when Andy has to say goodbye to Woody, Buzz, and all the toys. It's heartbreaking, but it also reminds us, even as we grow up, we don't have to forget our memories of childhood. And I never really thought about it, but it is pretty heartbreaking to see you have to grow up and leave childhood. But you can still remember your childhood memories. Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is the first package film from Disney in almost 30 years since The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, because it compiles different shorts. But in this case, they all go together because it's Pooh and the gang. One good thing about Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is the voice cast, with people like Sterling Holloway as Pooh, John Fiedler Piglet, Paul Winchell Tigger, and others. The narrator is Sebastian Cabot, who also voiced Bagheera in The Jungle Book. The only characters with more than one voice actor are the 2 kids, Christopher Robin, who has 3 different voice actors, one of whom is Bruce Reitherman, director Wooly Reitherman's son, who is also the voice of Mowgli in The Jungle Book, and then Roo is voiced by 2 different kids. But otherwise, the voice acting is all consistent throughout. The songs are really good, by the Sherman Brothers, Richard and Robert Sherman, the Oscar winners of the music from Mary Poppins. My 3 favorite songs are the Winnie the Pooh theme song, Heffalumps and Woozles, and Tigger's theme song, The Wonderful Thing About Tiggers. Wonderful Thing About Tiggers is probably my most favorite. So, why don't I like Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh as much as I used to? It just seems little kiddish, even for my taste. Even as someone who's grown up and still loves Toy Story, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh seems like something that will appeal more to toddlers than teenagers and young adults. But I can't really hate on this movie because I did grow up watching it as a kid and loving it as a kid. So I can recommend Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh for little kids. Otherwise, if you're an adult or a teenager, you can still watch Toy Story, but probably just save Winnie the Pooh for your kids. The film's latest home video release was its Blu-ray and DVD release in the summer of 2013, with classic bonus features including a 25-minute behind-the-scenes look at the making of the film, the 1983 short Winnie the Pooh in a Day for Eeyore, where Pooh and his friends plan a surprise party when they learn it's Eeyore's birthday, and a music video for the Winnie the Pooh theme song performed by Carly Simon, who also contributed songs for other Winnie the Pooh projects like Piglet's Big Movie. New bonus features for the Blu-ray largely consist of shorts from a series called The Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, where they basically just take parts of different Winnie the Pooh movies from the past and use them as shorts. In this case, we get different segments of Piglet's Big Movie and one song from the 2011 Winnie the Pooh. And the only bonus features on the DVD are one of the shorts and the music video. So, do I really have to go into how big a franchise Winnie the Pooh has gotten? It's had TV shows, theme park attractions, video games, theatrical films, and even the upcoming live-action remake, Christopher Robin, coming out in August. Honestly, I feel more mixed on Christopher Robin than the animated Winnie the Pooh stuff, because it's basically a Winnie the Pooh version of Hook. The main human, Christopher Robin, is all grown up and has lost his sense of imagination, but he's revisited by Pooh and friends who help him find his way. The actors, they've got people like Ewan McGregor and people doing voices like Brad Garrett and Jim Cummings returning as Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. The acting looks pretty good from what I've seen in the trailers, but the storyline we've seen before, the animation and the looks of Pooh and the gang is way too freaky and doesn't look like the animated counterparts, so I think that's going to hurt the film a bit. Richard Sherman is returning to do some new songs, but I haven't heard any of them yet, so I can't exactly give my full opinion on that yet. But, I don't know, if you want to see the new Christopher Robin, go ahead. I might wait till it gets on DVD, but that's just me. But I can say, because I enjoyed it as a kid, I can recommend The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh for little kids. Parents, if you want to watch it with your kids, go right ahead. Just be forewarned, little kids will probably like it more. Well, we're out of time for today, kids. Remember, when you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Bye!